Hey Rochelle, just looking at your first practice essay on Hajj. Um, okay, so looking at what you need to do here, just straight away, I could probably see that that's not enough words. So word count, yeah, 906 including the quote. So you're probably down to, I don't know, 800, which is not long enough for an essay. You're going to need to be between 1,000 and 1,200 if you're really concise and have good examples in there. So straight away, we can see an area for improvement. All right, with reference to one or more of the above quotations, explain. So we need cause and effect. How? By example. One significant practice um, in Islam assists, so more than one way, adherents, individual and community, in their submission to Allah. So in your response, refer to Hajj. So we're looking at Hajj here. So it's an essay completely on the Hajj. What you're going to need to do in this one is see how the Hajj before and after tense helps an individual. In that submission, we would say by contributing to the four pillars and the six articles of faith. So, how does it assist the adherents? The pillars are the worldly things that an individual or a community can do in order for them to submit best to the will of Allah. So, that's what I'm going to be looking for in your first in this essay. So the five pillars, how they use those to submit to Allah, and how the Hajj helps them do that. All right, let's have a look. Perfect. So you've done that straight away. Being exceeded among the natural world. Fine. As fantastic. A life with Allah. Right, that's a really good opening for this essay, and you've used one of the quotes already. So I'm going to be looking for. So you've done what it's asked to, with specific reference to one or more. So you've done what's required there, and then you potentially could use the other ones. But I'm looking for a quote of your own. All right, reading from here. Great. So that's your specific reference to that. Good. You probably want to say this is where you can extend on it. I don't know if you do, but in order to get those extra words up, just say why they do it. Because of this, this happens. And when you say this happens, you'd be looking at it linking to one of the core beliefs of the tradition. However, that proceed is your cause and effect language that we're looking for, which is fine. Good terminology there. Fantastic. Preceding or proceeding? Before or after? All right, good. And again, some extra bit of information. You could say Abraham, Hagar, and Ishmael's attempts to defy temptations. Good. So you've linked in the core belief there. You'd want more paragraphs now because if you're writing this out, it's obviously a lot longer. Fantastic. So this is a all right. Now again, how do you make it longer and get to your 1,200 words? Say what this does. So the alms giving zakat is submitting to the will of Allah, and that's what the pillar intends for individuals and the community. And then you talk about that zakat, what it does for an individual, and therefore helps the entire community. So then you're really hitting the adherence bit. All right, talk about the demands of when you're talking about Judgment Day. Talk about the demands of it. Like they're in 45-degree heat with no um, food and no water, no sustenance. So they're no physical sustenance. So their only sustenance is the spiritual sustenance that they get from their prayers to submitting to the will of Allah and what that means for them. All right, so if I was going to say one thing, you've got some really good information in here. You just need to extend on it and say and answer the question to yourself after each sentence. So what? So what? Have you answered the so what? If you have, fantastic. If you haven't, that's what you need to do. And that's an easy way to extend your response. Good. Yep. Okay, probably don't need to recite the whole quote. 20, 62, no, yeah, so you haven't used any of your own yet. You're still using theirs, which is fine, but you need to use your own so you can show them you actually know what you're talking about and you've gone into it in depth. Yeah, this is good when you're doing this type of thing because you're using just an aspect of the quote but incorporating it into your sentence, which is strong. Right, this is a good response. You probably get 15 or 16 for it. You need to extend on those bits, but also hit more of the core beliefs in there. So you've hit the 5 pillars, which is fantastic, and that's how they do it. But sometimes the so what would be linking it back to the core beliefs of the tradition, the 6 articles of faith. So you've said predestination, which has been really strong in your response. Make sure you talk about Allah being the one true God. Uh, Angels, Muhammad being the last prophet, etc. So just incorporate those types of things in there and you turn that 15, 16 into an 18, 19, 20.